So welcome everyone to another update, and yeah, this is a update on the the films that got given for Christmas. So I got a fair few things, but not a massive amount. But then again, I never expect to because everyone I know already knows that I have a huge collection as it is, and I'm quite hard to buy for as a result. But still, I have been given a fair few releases that I really wanted. So we'll start off with the smaller ones, and then we'll get to the big main present. And yeah, but the first of the films is Jackie Chan in Shaolin Wooden Men, which is yeah, it's supposed to be one of his earlier efforts, I believe, from 1970. Is it 1970? Yeah, 1976. So this is well before Project A or Crime Story or any of that. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing this because I've enjoyed quite a fair few of Jackie Chan's films so far this year. So yeah, we'll probably be starting off next year with more Jackie Chan, quite frankly. So yeah, looking forward to seeing that. And this is from 88 Films as well, so we can always rely on them to put out good films. So yeah, and then from my good friend Wes, we have from Eureka, the Masters of Cinema series, House. Now, not to be confused with the 1980s House, but this is the 1977 Japanese release. Less than 90 minutes, but yeah, looks quite madcap in a lot of ways, to be honest. So yeah, really looking forward to seeing this, especially since I am quite into my Japanese horror films. Although, to be honest, Japanese horror films from before the 80s are a bit of a blind spot for the most part. So yeah, but there's the disc, and you get a really rather nice booklet to go with it as well. So you got the artwork on the front of the release there, but then you got the different artwork there, which seems to have had a different title. And yeah, you got a write-up called Unhinged Desire at Home with Obayashi by Paul Kay from 2009, and then review notes and disc credits. So yeah, I think this has had a pretty heavy restoration as well. Yeah, it's had its aspect ratio changed from its theatrical release as it was cropped. So yeah, hopefully it'll look fantastic now. And we also have a Charlton Heston triple movie feature. So yeah, I believe the Motherload and Proud Men are UK debuts on Blu-ray, but 55 Days at Peking I think has already had a release. But yeah, still nice to have all three together. I've only seen 55 Days at Peking, but that's a really rather good film. It's not consistent in a lot of ways. Sorry, my cat is cleaning herself, so the camera is kind of wobbling a little bit. But yeah, it's not the most sorry, it's not the most consistent of films, 55 Days at Peking, but it's your typical 60s massive budget epic affair. 2.5 hours long. It's got a huge budget. It's got a great deal of practical effects to it as well. And yeah, it's just really, really well done. So yeah, the box itself is reasonable. It's not the massive flimsy one that you usually get. And yeah, 55 Days at Peking becomes on its own disc in its own case, which is what makes me believe that it's, you know, not the first time this has had a Blu-ray release. There you go. And yeah, don't believe it's had any kind of restoration done or anything like that, but you do get a bonus feature on it, a Charlton Heston biography for all seasons. So yeah, sounds pretty good. And then you have the other two on the other disc. So yeah, I've heard a great deal about Motherload, especially in terms of a plane crash that happened on the set, but I've not heard of anything about Proud Men, so that's going to be a bit of a blind spot for me. But still, looking forward to seeing those two. And finally, the big main present, the one that I have been contemplating getting myself, but didn't really fancy paying the full £120 for, but luckily this shot down in price to 55, which is why I have been gifted it, because it was so cheap for such a good thing, and it is Scope Volume 1. So yeah, I have been wanting this for a while, and it did come out last year, so you've probably already seen this in full by other people before, but still, I feel the need to show this off, because I am really, really pleased with getting it. It is, like I said, something I've wanted for a while. Has that on the back as well, and it's a really rather solid box, as you'd expect from our video. And yeah, this is the biggest box set that they've ever done. So yeah, get a really nice long booklet with it as well, which basically goes through each of the films by well, I'll show you how they set it up basically. So Got a brief history of the Shaw Brothers studio, because that's who this what this collection is surrounded by, based on, should I say, in terms of the films by the Shaw Brothers production company. So yeah, it's got quite a few pages on those. It's got a bunch of screenshots from the films themselves. But then in terms of the actual films, you have the cast, the crew, and then the official synopsis, and then film notes, which are all done by Simon Abrams, and then you've got some trivia and then even some extra bits as well. So basically they lay out each film like that, and that's for the King Boxer there. So yeah, really, really nicely done. You got different posters and stuff like that. In fact, there's one poster in here that is really rather mad. Where is it? It's for Mighty Peking Man, which is a film I've already seen. It's actually the only film out of these that I've actually seen before. So yeah, and it was fairly decent. It's not the best, kind of creature feature film I've seen before, but it's still fairly good. And yeah, you could do a lot worse. But yeah, the poster in here is absolutely mad. Got the tiger on the back of the woman there, and you got the Peking Man guy in the background and everything like that. So yeah, really, really mad poster. But obviously the main feature here is obviously the films in their own big case, which yeah is really nicely done. So yeah, you have King Boxer on the first disc. What I also really liked is that they do the artwork alongside, which is really nicely done. And then you have the Boxer from Shantung on the next one. Then you have 5 Shaolin Masters and Shaolin Temple on the third disc. And then you have Mighty Peking Man, which we've already talked about, on the 4th disc. Then you have Challenge of the Masters and Executioners from Shaolin on disc 5. It's nicely done how they split the posters as well when they have 2 or more on one disc. And then Chinatown Kid on disc 6, which actually looks, in terms of that poster at least, a little bit on the 80s side, but obviously it was not released in the 80s. All of these were released in the 70s. And then on disc 7 you have the 5 Venoms and Crippled Avengers. All of these sound good, by the way. I've already looked up their ratings and the like on Letterboxd. And on disc 8 you have Heroes of the East, Dirty Ho. And on disc 9, on disc 9 on 10 even, you have music from Shaolin Temple, Mighty Peking Man and Chinatown. So these are obviously the CDs. And finally on disc 10 you have music from the 5 Venoms, Crippled Avengers and Dirty Ho. So yeah, I really like the fact that they've included some soundtracks for these. Not necessarily going to be the best soundtracks going, but still really nice that they've included them. So yeah, in total there you have 10 discs, I think it is. So yeah, that is a really, really comprehensive collection, really. And yeah, as a result, I have bought Shawscope Volume 2. No idea when that'll arrive, because posting is all over the place at this time of year with bank holidays and the like. But still, really looking forward to getting that. And thankfully, because of Arrow Video, they've knocked off 20% for the next few days up until I think the 31st. So yeah, if you've wanted something from Arrow Video, then now is the time to get something from them, because you can get a nice 20% off. It doesn't apply to pre-orders apparently, but still there's plenty of older releases from them that are well worth getting, and you could get this with 20% off, but it was a steal at £55. So yeah, really, really pleased with this. Like all of the presents that I've got, but yeah, this is definitely the one that I have wanted for a while, and I'm glad to finally have got it. So yeah, I hope you've had a very Merry Christmas. If you don't celebrate, I still hope you've had a nice time off if you've been able to have the time off. And yeah, and the next update will probably be in the new year, once all of the sales have been concluded and I've bought what I've wanted to buy. Because I've already had some Boxing Day sales on the go. I got some stuff from Zavi and some 101 films I think I did as well. So yeah, got plenty more to come on the way. But regardless, like I said, I hope you had a Merry Christmas, hope you have a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.